I keep it simple. If you don't have a womb, stay out of womb business, right? Currently, if I asked guys what laws are on the books to regulate men's bodies, there would be silence in the room. Nobody's saying that at 16 or years old, in order to get a driver's license, you should go get a vasectomy. And that when you're ready to have children, you can go ahead and have it reversed.
So let's be
But
clear.
they're telling us that.
But who gives a damn what they telling? We want to be clear.
So how did this become to the attention of Kamala
let's
Harris?
not move the
It's the
goalposts.
white women.
The bottom line is black women are not advocating for abortion, but I agree. And
I don't like them
and I
making
challenge.
us- Exactly.
Baby, listen, black women do what we want to do. White women don't tell us what to do. We tell white women what to do.
Okay.
So let's be clear. But I don't know what kind of black women you are. But we the type black I want to
hate
be
to
clear.
tell you, but
it's important that we be clear about that.
White women hold positions of power that we don't.
Well, maybe they control you. They don't control the sisters.
I'm
but
telling
listen,
you, though, that
but
they
I'm telling
exist.
you that I
Just
agree.
like the white men
Are you hearing what I'm
exist.
telling you, or you ain't listening?
I'm listening
I
to you.
agree that Democrats.
I just feel like you're trying to make my point something that
I'm not trying to make it. I just want you to listen. Democrats do a terrible job in talking about reproductive health as far as fibroids. We were literally in the dressing room talking about fibroids, and I said they really need to be talking about fibroids. They really need to be talking. I was in real time on the phone with my daughter and her doctor while I was getting my makeup done. So I am agreeing with you that they do not talk about the reproductive health. They do not talk about IVF. They do not talk about birth control helping us with our very painful menstruation. I am telling you that Democrats fail in that area. Where I am gently correcting you is that white women are talking about abortion, not the sisters.
We're pushing on Kamala that she's pushing pro-choice, but I think that is fair enough to say that that is a Democratic Party thing and not just a Kamala thing. And as far as pro-choice and pro-life, I just kind of feel like I do err on the side over people just having autonomy over their own body, just because ultimately they have to deal with the outcome of their decisions ultimately. So for example, there is this party that's pushing pro-life is also anti-child. I mean, when the child is actually born, what are they really willing to do for that child? Are they willing to extend the resources necessary? Because a lot of these women and men that are saying that they're not ready to have these children come into the world are usually poverty stricken, hence why a lot of Black women are disproportionately choosing abortion as an option. A lot of Black women do have issues with their finances or their current standing in life, whatever that may be. And I think that it's really hard for us to judge unless we walk in that person's shoes. So who am I to tell somebody whether or not they should have a child? I'm not going to be there to give them, childcare, babysitting. I'm not going to be there to supply very expensive Similac or food or any of the resources that a baby requires. So I think that we have to be careful when we're telling other people what to do with their lives. When the baby actually gets here, we kind of throw our hands up and say, you got this. So, and I also think that necessity is the birth of invention. And when I say that, I mean a lot of women are not choosing to raise their children alone. They're forced to in a lot of cases. So unfortunately, they do have to have those thoughts when they get pregnant. And a lot of women do have this thought. When some women get pregnant, they have to think, okay, if I have this baby, if he's here or not, can I handle this? Can I do this? Is this something that I can handle on my own if that ends up being the outcome of this situation? And if the answer comes back no, that's something that you really do have to weigh heavily on, because the responsibility is ultimately on you. A man can walk away, a woman can't. So with all of that being said, listen, I'm not quick to judge. I do understand the points previously made. No, abortion is not should not be used as birth control. If that choice is exercised, it should be exercised responsibly and carefully.
All right, go ahead, Ruth.
Hey guys. I think that the host was being rude, over talking the guest. If you're gonna be hosting, you gotta take a step back and let people speak. And so once the girl was agreeing with her, she was like, yeah, yeah, she let her talk. But as soon as there was a disagreement, let me check you, like, and all of that is like, it's really unprofessional. Let people speak. And it seemed like she knew some things, but then she twisted it to her own reality. She bent like I agree with Sherelle, like we are the ones getting the most abortions. I didn't see the numbers, but um, let's say the truth. Why are you hiding that? Why are you deflecting when you saying Kamala said this, and you're like, oh, let's get off of Kamala right now. It's just, we can see you maneuvering just to make yourself look good, and you're going by your emotions and not real facts. So that's the issue. I'm pro-life personally. I don't hear many people say they're pro-life, and they're just kind of quiet about it, in my opinion, from what I hear. But it seems like the pro-choice people are very loud about it, and some people push it on others. Everybody has their own thing that they want to do with themselves, but when you're in leadership and you're pushing this, and you're saying this is what is okay, this is what you need, you should do this, we should fight for it. My problem with politicians is like, you want to hit those hot button topics that everybody's going to like, if you talk about religion and sex and certain things, everybody's going to go crazy. That's what they focus on. They're not focused on real problems and real solutions. So to me, you just playing in my face. And you think that, like, if you're going to bring up abortions, or the A word, bring up the 40 million Black children that has been deleted since it happened. Bring up that the clinics, or 78% of them, were put in Black neighborhoods. Be fair. Say the whole truth, not just what you think is cute, because there are little girls that are going to hear this and think that this is the norm. Like, women tend to kind of make decisions in groups. What is the group doing? How are we wearing our hair, and how are we dressing? And so we're very influenced by other people. So, and somebody said something about men can walk away, but a woman is walking away when she has an abortion. So you are choosing to walk away. So it's a very important that you take that, but there's a lot of consequences for the men when they do it. But we want no consequence. We want to live in a fairy tale world. You can just do whatever you want. It's no consequence, but that's not real life. And that's what you're teaching your children. That's what you're modeling. So you do it, then your daughters are going to do it. And then y'all be confused why there's nobody in the family line. Like, we're hurting ourselves. We're hurting our community. We got to go back to supporting one another when we are going through it. So people like to step in when the child gets pregnant, but they don't want to step in when the child has a boyfriend. They don't want to step in when you're boy crazy too early. The aunties and the uncles not pulling them to the side like, look, you're not ready for this. This is what's going to happen if you keep going down this road. They pushing them to go on dates. They're pushing them to do things that grown-ups can do. How you going to go on a date? You don't have a job. You don't have none of this. Y'all just like, oh, look, they so cute together. They be 5 years old and planning husbands and wives for their kids. We push that. That's our culture to say that's cute. And then we surprised when kids get pregnant early, or we're not modeling the right behavior. We're going to say we grown, we can do whatever we want to do, but then we get confused when our teenagers pop up pregnant. So you have to lead by example. That's it. If you don't lead by example, then shut up and don't lead. That's all I have to say.
All right. Who was that over there? Was they agreeing or just go ahead, King Talk?
I want to say that typically when it comes to abortion, pro-life, and those things, I keep it simple. If you don't have a womb, stay out of womb business. Right? Currently, if I asked guys what laws are on the books that regulate men's bodies, there would be silence in the room. Nobody's saying that at 16 or years old, in order to get a driver's license, you should go get a vasectomy. And that when you're ready to have children, you can go ahead and have it reversed. I think it's ridiculous and hypocritical to try to regulate women's bodies. If a woman's not accepting your last name, if she's not accepting your leadership, you shouldn't offer her your semen. Problem solved. I've never met a woman who got pregnant without a man. So, I mean, that's just where I stand on that whole like pro-life abortion stance. Like this DJ So Lovely said, there aren't enough programs for the kids when they're born, right? So we got to figure out some other way other than threatening doctors and threatening parents with jail time, because we're gonna wind up with all these, you know, back alley abortion clinics and people dying from septic poisoning and all types of other stuff if we don't be careful. And they don't really care about the lives. The problem is there's an awareness that by 2050, minorities will be the majority. So they want to repopulate the rest of the society. And that's the only reason. And the next thing somebody touched on that I wanted to mention is, from my understanding, feminism was started by the Rockefellers because they came up with this very easy understanding that currently they're only 50% of the population is taxable because only men are working. So they started putting in things like Cosmopolitan magazines and other magazines, the idea of female independence. That mantle was picked up by white women, and everything in its extreme form is toxic. When you're trying to create equality, the pendulum swings far to counterbalance the fuckery that was happening before. So you're going to have extremists in the feminist movement because there were extreme dudes that they were dealing with before there was a movement. There were guys that were looking at you as a possession, rather have you barefoot in the kitchen. So we're going to have to find that middle ground, and they're going to be extremists in the process of finding that middle ground. But let's not point strictly to the extremists. You know, there's extremists because it was extreme the other way. That's how we find balance.